and welcome back to the House of the Stag podcast. We are once again joined by Josh from Constantine Films, and we're here to discuss episode 9 of House of the Dragon, which in my opinion, fellas, is the worst one. I did my review, so what do you guys think about the episode?
I still think, what was my previous least favorite? Was it the battle
I think it
episode?
was 3, yeah.
Or it's either that or 5. I still think this thing is like right in the middle. I wouldn't put it as the worst. There are some really, really bad moments. But overall, I think there's still enough to like. I guess the decision of keeping Rhaenys in King's Landing to have an action scene was a little sus.
By the way, let me clarify that. I gave episode 9 a 7 out of 10. So if we're talking about like the worst episode, that is still a pretty good one. Like this one comfortably would walk into my top list of Game of Thrones episodes since season 4. Like probably the best one since season 4. So still a very good show. Just wanted to clarify before you crucify me in the comments.
I think the worst was still Kristen killing Joffrey. That might still be my least favorite.
Yeah, it's weird. This one has the same problem as all the other episodes that are not like flawless, in that it's fine up until the end. But I feel like this one had more like weird writing choices than other ones. Like it's not just the end. Like there's a bunch of weird stuff in here that isn't necessarily like too bad, but it's just strange.
Like, Otto talking about how no one can see Arik, and he walks around with his hand of the kingpin.
Yeah. It's weird. And another thing that I've found like quite strange is if they were going the route of like everyone conspiring behind Alicent's back and planning to usurp Rhaenyra, why did they make up the entire like misunderstanding thing? What was the point? Because they were gonna do it anyway. And like sure, it kind of puts Alicent in a better position, I guess. But if that doesn't have any effect whatsoever, then what's the point? You're just like putting a trope in there for no reason. Like why?
I'm glad they did. I mean, I'm glad they clarified it in this episode, because I would have had to argue for fucking years, like back in the day when Robert's Rebellion was built on a lie. When that came out, I had to fucking argue with people all the time on Instagram during like the old fan page days. And thank you for having that scene.
Obviously, I'm very, very glad that it's not, as you said, like all like built on that misunderstanding. I'm just confused as to why they put it in there. Like, why is that there? In the book, it's very obvious that Alicent is like very ambitious, but like here, she's sort of a obviously she's starting to sort of use her power more and more and more, but it's still, you're like removing all of her ambition, and then you put in like a weird sort of trope that no one really likes, and then the next episode you don't use it at all anyways. It's very weird.
If she like for the longest time still thought Rhaenyra was gonna take the Iron Throne, then why was she yelling at Aegon for many episodes that, hey, if you don't push for the throne, you're gonna be killed? Like that was your original point.
Yeah. Isn't that exactly what they've been talking about for years and years and years? Like literally since Aegon was born in episode 3. Like that's always been the thing.
Yeah.
So I
Her
don't understand
only
why
difference
it's there.
between like Alicent and Otto is like Otto is willing to kill Rhaenyra and Rhaenyra's kids, while Alicent will probably have a less violent approach to it, but she always wanted Aegon to be on the throne for the sake of his safety. And that's always been her point, regardless of what Viserys said in the last minute.
It's a bit weird. Like, they go back and forth with Alicent in an attempt to catch up with Rhaenyra, I think. They're both whitewashed. I don't think that it's imbalanced when it comes to these characters, to these two. Especially now with Alicent having blood on her hands with the killing of all of those servants. I think it's balanced in that they're not really extremely bad, but also definitely not good. So it's kind of gray, but it's weird.
I feel like Rhaenyra's whitewashing is at least consistent, whereas Alicent will literally be like, hey, Aegon, you have to be king, and the next one you'll be a fine queen, and then the next one is like, oh, I never planned this until I got the final message. Now, like I told my son many years ago to be king.
Yeah, and like it's I'm kind of worried because like now this episode was focused completely on the Greens except for Rhaenys, and it's like not a fantastic episode. We don't get a lot of like character development. I mean, like most of the episode is just spent like chasing Aegon, And like in Fire and Blood, it's completely different, right? It's not similar at all. They made up this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like literally getting Aegon could have been 10 minutes on screen. Because like in Fire and Blood, it takes place over like not like one day, right? It takes place over like a few days, I believe, because Viserys's corpse like lays there and rots.
Yeah, he's
And like
smelling like Tywin.
yeah. Yeah. And then like Aemond is still like in the training yard, and then he calls her a cunt and all that. And then they just find Aegon in the brothel, and then everything goes from there. But they like made up this whole thing. And like I don't hate it. I feel like it was okay, but we don't have any scenes of like character development for like Aegon and well, we do for Aegon maybe, but not for like Aemond and Helena and stuff like that. But I wanted some scenes between Alicent and Aemond and Helena and stuff like that, which we didn't get, unfortunately.
I kind of disagree here, at least when it comes to Aemond. Like, I like that they've established that he definitely wants to be king, that he wants to have what Aegon has. I like the scenes of him and Kristen Cole. Those are among my favorites of the episode.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I don't mean so much that the scenes that are there like aren't good, rather that they don't need to be spread out so thin. Those scenes, the same message could have been done in one scene. You didn't need to like make up that whole like subplot and everything. I wanted like an episode that is focused completely on the Greens. I wanted to actually like see the Greens interacting with each other. But I like the way they're going with Aemond. Like obviously he's my favorite character in the dance, but I enjoy the way they're going with him because like he's not, I wouldn't say he's power hungry, but more so that he knows he's the better fit to be king. Like he knows that. He knows like he's earned it. He's put in the work.
Yeah.
And like done everything while Aegon is an absolute piece of shit and like does not want it. So I feel like it's more so Aemond knowing that that's the better choice or he's the better choice than Aegon rather than him being just like power hungry and stuff. But yeah, like I enjoy like the characterization so far has been phenomenal for Aemond. The actor is incredible. I'm very happy with most of the characters, honestly.
Aegon's actor is really great. I find him so enjoyable. He's entertaining on screen.
He's so funny.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Although he does get worse and worse. Like now he's watching children UFC and stuff. It's a bit messy.
Well, his character flaw aside, the guy's whole vibe is very relaxing.
Yeah, but it's a bit insane, isn't it? Like the
child fighting pits.
Bastard included.
I don't remember if the children fighting pits was a thing in Fire and Blood. So I just remember them as the red pits.
No, it's not that I know of. Not in this, like, I don't know, it might have been like in the story somewhere, but not in the dance that I can remember.
The kid is like Gaiman, right? I think.
Yeah,
Gaiman pale hair.
Yeah.
He's gonna come in later again, especially with Aegon the Third and then Viserys. But that's I don't know if you're gonna spend too much time on it. Like probably like just an episode and then it's time to say goodbye to the show.
Yeah, this is the last time we're seeing most of the Greens for like 2 years now until season 2.
Yeah. That's another thing. This fucking sucks for sure. But I think they're gonna come back in 2024 with 2 shows.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get Snow and House of the Dragon in 2024. Maybe
some
animated stuff. Some animated stuff in 2023. That's not
honestly, we might be able to get Snow like by the end of next year, honestly, because it's probably not gonna be as VFX heavy and as big budget as House of the Dragon.
Well, that depends, doesn't it?
Okay, yeah.
We'll get to that Duncan Egg budget.
Depends what they do, bro.
I mean, Josh, I don't want to, introduce you to a lady in Volantis, but...
No, stop.
Yeah,
I'm leaving.
Yeah, let's skip that. Let's talk about the small council scenes of episode 9. Those are my favorites of the episode. I think that was
very Giga Chad.
Yeah, he died as a honorable man surrounded by traitors. And that was...
It's interesting. I didn't expect that to be like a accidental kill. Like,
yeah, I don't know if I like that.
Like Kristen just like the mountain. He just slaps a dude and they just fall apart.
I mean, was it that accidental? I mean, he still smashed the guy's head on the table.
I looked at it like a few times. It's very weird. He like grabs him by the shoulders and then he's like, sit down. And then the next cut, his head just fucking slams to the table. It's so weird. I don't know. I didn't like it. I would have preferred if he just like outright killed him.
Yeah, just like slash his throat.
Yeah. Or like,
Because now that scene was just awkward. It's like,
yeah, it's so awkward.
if he just kills him, like everyone will be scared and will react a certain way. He just accidentally kills him. They're just like confused.
This is
They're just like,
treason.
what is happening?
This is treason
Yeah.
at the least. And then bam, it's fucking the Mountain in season 7 goes around King's Landing, listening to people talking shit about Cersei for whatever reason. Fucking
So Harold is alive, as far as I can know.
yeah, with
Yeah.
a little bit of plot armor. I mean, they killed
Mm.
Caswell, and then they're like, you
Yeah.
know what? We're not gonna rob him of his Barristan Selmy moment.
Yeah, they're
Mm.
like, we're making this up for Barristan Selmy. Back then, we have a shortened storyline. Now we're gonna just put all of Barristan's stuff on Harold.
Yeah, he's gonna defend Marine in season 2.
Yeah, he's gonna give Harold the foul your breeches speech.
Oh god, fuck yeah.
He's
Jesus.
gonna go fight for the triarchy.
Fight for the trial. Yeah. Dude, if they shove just all the unused Barristan dialogue into Harold Westerling, I'll be so happy.
yeah.
This will be straight up like the most obvious fuck you to Benioff you could ever do without being obvious to the normies.
Yeah, I'm interested to like see what they do with Harold, because obviously he's been long dead in the source material, but now he just like walks away, and I don't know where he's going. Like I don't know what their plan is with him, because how much longer can he live? Isn't he like fucking 102 by now? And
He can live forever. Dude, he can just find a ship and go to Dragonstone.
yeah, no, definitely. But like, I mean, what then? He's just gonna be another extra.
Yeah,
Like it's
what's this gonna do with Darkland? Like, is Westerling gonna try to
Have
be
him
one
be-
of the dragon seeds?
Well, have him be in like the Battle of Tumble or something.
Or the Battle of Fire in Marine?
Another weird thing for me is Kristen in this episode, because I don't know, man. I feel like the thing is with Kristen is that he's supposed to be the kingmaker. He's like, when Ariane talks about him in one of her chapters, she talks about him as the person who usurped Rhaenyra. Right? Like I feel like that was very, very distinct, that like Sir Kristen Cole, the kingmaker, put Aegon on the throne. But like now, I feel like he's not even part of it. I would have significantly preferred if Kristen was a part of the plotting, and you know, he actually killed Beesbury on purpose, and he was the one to like fully crown and say Aegon's titles and all that, and like be the main man there. Because now he just feels like, I don't know, he just feels like a god. But he's the fucking kingmaker, bro. Like, he did not get that title just because he put it on his head. I feel like it should have been more than that.
Yeah, and also he's like a complete hypocrite in this episode. Which obviously that is his character, like the way he talked about women
Respect
are
women.
Yeah.
To be fair, there are incels like that whose philosophy is not very consistent.
Oh yeah, give him a like.
There'll be simp for 1 second and incel for another, and then go back and forth.
Yeah, he definitely, like, Kristen Cole is the type of guy who would be a pickup artist. You know, he would be.
Top G.
Oh yeah, he's like the red pill rhetoric 100%, bro.
Yeah.
Top G. Top G.
Top G, Kristen Cole. Anyways, we still haven't seen Dreamfire or Sunfire, which is boiling my blood. It makes me so angry.
Dreamfire.
Yeah, we've seen them, but we haven't seen them.
I don't even remember seeing them.
My gripe is with Sunfire.
Yeah, we should have seen Sunfire close up by now.
The most beautiful dragon that's ever been, and we get a like fucking 300 miles away 1 second shot.
And we're not getting a next episode, so
yeah, next.
That's it.
That's the CGI money. Is episode 10.
Yeah, I actually do think so. Like, the CGI looks really good for the next episode.
God.
So
we're gonna talk about the preview later, but oh my god.
Yeah, it looks so good. It looks so good.
Storm's End. Finally.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But fuck, I'm so excited, bro.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Another thing, just quick, about Aemond, but I really like as far as the way that they're going with him, that he's sort of like not necessarily like religious, but he's kind of like more devout than some of the other people. They could have gone like a Joffrey route with Aemond, but they kind of didn't. They went something else, you know, because like when Alicent's praying, he's closing his eyes and stuff like that, and he's like calls out Aegon's depravity and stuff like that. I'm enjoying Aemon's character now. You know, he's a really, really fucked up person. And he does very, very bad things. But I'm glad they're not going
The easy way.
like insufferable asshole. Yeah. I'm glad they're not just like exploiting his deeds for shock value and
Yeah, he's
actually
great.
trying to create actually trying to like create a complex character here. You know, that's what I'm here for. So
I'm pretty tired of the Joffrey Ramsay villains. They just suck, honestly.
they're
I
boring.
don't like them at all.
Unless you got like an actor like Tom Glencarney playing Aegon, who's like very entertaining, like that's fun. But you know, you have to do something more. But like Aegon, also, I feel like Aegon is definitely not gonna be like too insufferable for the rest of the series. I feel like in that moment where he was coronated, I feel like that sort of started an arc for him. Not becoming a better person, of course. He's still a piece of shit. I feel like the approval that he got from the common folk, you know, in the moment where he lifted Blackfire in the air, I feel like that approval is what he's been waiting for like all his life. So
He's
I feel like
seen.
yes, exactly. So I feel like that he might be slightly less insufferable, but we still don't like him. Fuck Aegon.
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
I think to an extent he does try to live up to that responsibility, you know. So what you say, at least he fought his own battles to the best of his ability.
Yeah, until he didn't. But
More than I can say about someone else.
yeah.
Oh, they're
but,
gonna change that for sure.
They
though.
probably need
Probably.
to add some for Cyrax.
And actually, I
Yeah.
think like that is George R. R. Martin's. That is a mistake. I think he should have had Rhaenyra fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, that could also be the thing is with Fireblood. You could always say that the Maesters were just like very anti-Rhaenyra, so they just deleted it all. I don't think that's what it is, but you could say that, I suppose. But I feel like that's a very, very big like misstep. Just having Rhaenyra not do anything at all, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Another thing, we have Alicent and Kristen Cole being very close. Weirdly, like what was she saying? Like something along the lines of something about love.
Oh yeah. I thought they had
what you feel for me as your queen or something like that. It was something along those lines, which I'm not sure if that's just her saying if you have like any respect for me as your queen or if there's something more. I don't know, man.
You want some feet, Sir Christian?
Oh, I knew it was coming.
We gotta talk about that. We gotta talk about that.
Get on with it.
Yeah. Well, you know, like say whatever you say about that scene, it is not out of character.
No.
It's very
it
storytelling here.
Yeah, I feel like that fits with the Song of Ice and Fire very much. Like if I read that in one of the books, I would not be like shocked or surprised.
Yeah.
It would not be out of place at all.
But then
in my
again,
opinion.
it doesn't need to be exactly like the book. I could have done without Murray's Swamp and Mast in my HBO
definitely.
show. No.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see it.
Oh, I'm glad that they didn't like put his thing out and like I read some leaks that said that he would literally just fucking come on her feet, and I was like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah. Oh, thank God.
Odenkirk would love that.
Oh yeah, he got busted.
Yo, you should Photoshop Bob Odenkirk's head on Laris's face. Yeah, and then it's the Better Call Saul soundtrack in the background.
This is our vocal section for the week.
The feet make more sense than Rhaenys.
Yeah. Let's start at the beginning though, because we're kind of going back and forth. Let's talk about the beginning of the coronation ceremony. I really liked how that was done. Especially like the trumpet version of King's Arrival. It's all over the place. I really liked how it was how it started. It looked majestic. Well, then fucking it happened.
Yeah. I have watched that scene quite a few times. I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it, in all honesty. I just kind of want to ignore it. I think there's like a bunch of different ways they could have gone about it that would have been better, you know, because like I feel like Rhaenys not giving a shit about the common folk was very, very deliberate, you know?
Mm.
I don't know, because I listened to the director speaking about it, and she said she did like a bunch of research on like the stadium crushes at like football matches and stuff like that. So that was very much like something that they like intended to show. I don't know if it really came off that way necessarily, but they
No.
wanted to show that it was like a crush and a like fearful thing. Which is, I feel like it's kind of a disconnect because it does not feel like that.
You know, it's so glorified, the way the music comes in, and it's obviously like the way the camera focuses on Rhaenys and her look, and you know, it's obviously supposed to be this badass moment. And I would have zero problems if you would have chosen to make this like extremely like horror type thing, where it's like, you know, she's doing something horrible and it's perceived as horrible. Now all you have is like people saying, "Oh my god, it's such an amazing moment," and fair to you. I mean, if you like this type of stuff, I'm very happy for you. But she killed innocents, man. At the beginning I was like, okay, well, there are no guards there, no one's guarding the pit down there, and I was like, fine, whatever. She's just gonna appear on Dragonstone in the next episode, and I made my peace with that, and then she just fucking came out of nowhere. And I was like, oh god, this feels like Game of Thrones.
I was thinking about it, and like I think it fits for her character, maybe, because like we don't know that much about Rhaenys and how much she gives a shit about the common people, right? I very much like could get the vibe that she's like nobility that doesn't really care about anyone else, because I feel like a lot of the Targaryens are. Her like killing 100 people to make a dramatic entrance and then not kinslaying because that's too bad might fit her character. We wouldn't know. I don't want to make the Lady Olenna comparison because I feel like it's been done to death and they're not similar at all, really. But I feel like Lady Olenna would not care to kill like 100 people and then not kill someone else. You know, I feel like that's the sort of nobility, their sort of pretentious, stupid morality at play. I don't know, man. It's weird.
But then they just don't glorify it, you know? They chose to make it badass, and
exactly,
it's not badass.
Exactly.
That's horrible. It's a horrible act, and it should be this whole story should be about horrible acts being portrayed as horrible acts. You know, it's all about like the feel that transfers. And man, this one,
yeah, no, I don't like it at all. It doesn't necessarily ruin the episode for me. It's not like I hate everything about this show. It's the worst thing ever.
no,
I'm just gonna pretend it doesn't exist. I'm just gonna pretend it doesn't exist.
I don't think this episode is like the worst thing ever or anything like that. Also think, as I said in the beginning, it's still overall a pretty good episode, but I think going from episode 8, where it's like I gave it a 10 out of 10, it's just perfect for me. This just falls so flat. Yeah, but I think we've pretty much talked about it all. Again, I said it in the beginning, it's not the worst thing ever, don't get me wrong guys, but this is the first time that I'm genuinely worried about a creative choice in the show. Yeah, feel very welcome to comment your thoughts down below. Let us know what you think, and until then, take care and see us later.